you wish to crack on and get ahead with your tilde, here's the thing, Jane. We did the through the window quilt.
Yes.
And we've got a little, could you just chuck that cushion down? This was just one, this is the cushion version of the through the window.
Yeah, using the block principle, wasn't it?
So if you want to get ahead and do something similar with your charm packs, they will be available tomorrow.
Perfect.
Now, the other idea, Jane, thank you very much, was if you wanted, now, okay, message from Gemma, we have 4 Liberty long quarter bundles left, that's it.
Wow.
That's it, it's done.
Amazing.
Done. If you wanted to create something similar,
I saw that it was on the table. I was like, I need one of these in my life. I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to have it to look at and stroke.
These are the chambray basics, and you have got 15 fat quarters.
Amazing.
I'm just going to give you a little close up of these because be still my beating heart. There they are.
Just lovely.
The chambrays actually come in more expensive than the printed tilde fabrics.
I can believe that because it's such a beautiful. It's
just because of the processes
woven, isn't it? Two fabrics woven.
So they will be live tomorrow as well. Might have to make another one.
That would look stunning.
I know, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? I was like, how can I top that? Oh. Right, yeah. We also have the corresponding buttons. Yes, we do.
Nice.
So, do you want to see a little closer?
Have a close up of those, yeah.
Ba-da-da-da.
Stunning.
Gorgeous. And on Monday, we will go through in detail all of the tilde fabrics, but you will be able to buy it from tomorrow onwards. Now, Friday deals. You know how SJ is very protective of her Friday deals and it's only meant to be what's in the newsletter?
Yes.
And so we're not allowed to give any hints?
No, it's supposed to be a secret.
Jane?
Mm-hmm. I know, I spotted these, I was like, I need a fox in my mouth.
These have arrived. They're from Moda. They are, you know how Moda do like the complete quilt kits? We're really limited on stock on these.
Yeah.
Really, really, really limited. But let's just take a little look at these. These will only be available through your Friday deals. And I mean, when I say a handful, I like some of them I've only got 3 of.
They're a lovely, they're 38 by 44. That's a nice size quilt to make, isn't it?
Gorgeous, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous.
That's not over-facing. That's
so
lovely.
the kit includes your pattern, your yardage, and your background blocks and binding. So basically,
all you need is your wadding and your backing fabric.
Now, let's talk about wadding, Jane.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have got some brand new wadding in today, 80/20 wadding.
Lovely.
Do you know what I've done with it, just to celebrate the fact that it's new?
What have you done?
I've put it at 599.5 metre.
You crazy lady.
When I say it's by the half metre, it's 243 centimetres wide.
That's fabulous.
I'm just going to repeat that. 243 cent. That's nearly 2.5 metres wide.
Gosh.
At 599.5 metre of that. This is for today only. Can't afford to keep it like that.
Get it quick.
You know, it's just because, like, how many of you have done lots of Jane's quilts? Which means that there's a time when you're going to have to actually put some wadding behind it, right?
Yes, you're going to have to finish them, yeah.
I know that you love 80/20.
I do. It's my favourite.
There you go. Your favourite. So that's the idea. Or maybe you've got this and you want to do, you know, or maybe you're going to do a lot of these.
Yeah.
Actually, these would be lovely charity quilts, wouldn't they?
They would, yeah. They're a really nice size for if you're a wheelchair user, because they'll just fit over your knee nicely.
Jane, this is the difference between you and me, right? You go wheelchair user. I think the Dogs Trust say the dogs get rehomed more if they have a quilt.
Yes.
Because people can imagine them in their homes.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
So that's either way, it's all good, right? Mm-hmm. But it's a love, or a play mat.
Yeah, and absolutely
it's a
play mat
really
size.
Handy size. Would you like to look at tomorrow's half metre heavens? God, it's full today, isn't it?
It is. There's a lot going on.
Right, come on. Let's have a little look-see look at these. We haven't said, hang on. No. Jane, we haven't said hello to anyone. It's been really rude. What's going on?
Yes, we need to say hi.
I'm sorry. I do apologise. That's really rude.
We got so excited.
Oh. I'm sorry. I do apologise. Why are we coming through on the...
Oh, you're coming in
Oh,
on
we're
the
coming
speaker.
through on the speaker. Oh. We've been...
That's exciting. It's like, those voices, where are they coming from?
And they're not in my head. What's going on? There we go. Now it's coming through on this. And we've got captions. I mean, how many ways to hear me? Out there, in here, on this.
Yes, I noticed when I went on Facebook yesterday that we're captioned now, which is lovely.
Turn off captions. Oh, yeah. It's quite amusing, actually, if you actually watch them.
Yes.
Because for some reason it doesn't always catch my accent very well.
No, you sometimes get some words that aren't what you said. Which can be hilarious.
Yeah. Right, what have we got? Who have we got?
Who have we got?
No.
Have we got anybody? Is anybody there?
Anybody out there? We've got Barbara and Vanessa and Kirsty. Morning. Still full of cold, but it's lovely and sunny here. I did think of you yesterday, Kirsty, as I went sailing past Wellingborough. Leanne, good morning. Good morning. Karen, send my love to Minnie PT. Hope she isn't too poorly. She's just eating Gemma out of house and home.
Yeah, I don't think she's ill.
No, she's not ill at all. She's just got the vid.
Yeah.
And in the way
a
that
lot of people are getting it at the moment, just having it positive, but not having any other symptoms.
And I think the bigger problem is that she's just stuck in her bedroom now.
Yes.
Being grumpy and not feeling unwell.
Which,
just quite demanding.
As a 17-year-old, that is a bit of a nightmare.
And requiring snacks, endless snacks. Morning, Elizabeth. Ooh, fox. I love a fox. Yeah, she's a foxy lady, is Elizabeth.
She has one that comes and visits her.
Oh,
yeah.
I do too. He does the rounds and walks very slowly past the duck coop.
Yeah.
Eyeing them up.
Yeah.
Gemma wants the fox for her caravan.
Yes, it would serve Errol
So,
perfectly.
2 years ago, Gemma and I did go to town on making her fox curtains for Errol, her caravan. Yeah. Morning, Jane. Sorted. Can watch now on the TV and comment here. Everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere.
That's brilliant. Well
She's
done.
omnipresent. Morning, Sylv. Who are those lovely ladies on the top shelf there? Top shelf lady. Ooh.
Our bathing bells.
Top shelf ladies.
That's another meaning altogether.
These lovely ladies up here are from Tilda, and they will be available tomorrow off the top shelf. Gemma said there's a lovely pattern where you can make them into pin cushions. I said, is that not more like a voodoo doll? And she's like, oh yeah, I hadn't thought of it like that. Have plans for a few of Jane's quilts, says Jane, but Jane Gray, not you, Jane, because you're there and you didn't say that. Morning, Joan. Morning, Michelle. Morning, Bridget. Morning, Sally. Morning, Barbara. Lovely wadding, says Barbara.
Yeah, beautiful
Love
wadding.
a good bit of wadding.
Love a bit of wadding.
Morning, Jess. I did think of you this morning when the brand new Lewis and Irene also arrived.
Yeah, it's like everybody's just decided to deliver their fabric this morning, and we're
today.
just like, what?
The Gaynor was worried that there was an empty shelf. So it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. We know that we have a lot coming in.
Yeah,
it's all good.
There's more coming.
Morning, Margaret. Morning, Jane. Morning, Deb and Claire. My Adam likes to scare me by connecting his tablet computer to the speaker in the kitchen. Yeah. All of that.
Voices coming through.
All of that. Hi from South Wales, says Sally. Hello.
Good morning.
Hello. Oh, hang on. I have a technical question about your new 8020. What would the TOG rating of a quilt be with that?
Oh gosh, I don't know that one.
Gemma?
I don't know about TOG ratings for,
We'll find out.
For hand, that sort of quilting wadding, because it's different, isn't it? Because it's not...
Jess is loving your top, by the way. What did
Thank
I say
you.
to you this morning?
Yes.
Nice top. And Sandy's here, and Anne and Alison, busy making cheese biscuits for the chaps. Never mind the chaps.
That's made me really hungry.
I know, me too. Me too.
Cheese biscuits.
Oh, spring work started on the farm. Okay.
Oh yeah, busy time.
It is. I like to put a little bit of mustard in cheesy biscuits when I make them.
Yes, I do with my cheese scones.
Cheese straws.
Yeah.
Oh, a little bit
Oh,
of
stop.
Oh, what's happening to us? Morning, Wendy. Morning, Christina and Anne. Morning, dressed and ready today. Yeah. Otherwise, can end up watching you in my pyjamas at 12.
I don't mind.
We're not here to judge.
No.
I'd quite like to be in my pyjamas, to be
Quite
fair.
often, yeah.
Often, yeah.
Yeah.
Deb, morning. Any update on O'Deal? Ordered last Tuesday, not heard when delivery will be. So, Deb, if you ordered stuff that was on a delayed dispatch, then we're waiting for it to come in.
Yeah.
It should be in either back end of this week or at the latest Monday next week. I know that there are a lot of orders that are sat. Everything else is cut. We're just waiting for those last bits to pop in and send. So if any of your order was put down as a delayed dispatch, we just want to send it in one go.
Yeah.
So that we know that you've had it all in one go. So that's the update on that. Morning, Anne. Morning, Oriel. Morning, Colette. Oh, Karen has a question for you.
Oh, right. Hi, Karen.
I have a question for Jane. Is the wadding suitable for a white quilt top?
I haven't seen it yet. I use 80/20 on my white quilts.
Because you can get like super white ones, which is bleached, can't you?
You don't want bleached really. It's creamy coloured. It doesn't really affect the whiteness, I don't think, personally. But yeah, I would use it.
Morning, Mr. John Cole Morgan. How are you both? He says.
We're
We were
really
talking
well.
about you this morning. We're excited for Valentine's Day. We get to see him on Valentine's Day.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, Helen says, good morning. It's Steve's favourite day of the week.
Oh,
Can you thank him for his email as well? I haven't had a chance to reply yet. So we're all good. Now we can have a look at our half meter heavens.
yeah.
We've got 2 sets of half meter heavens, one for today and one for tomorrow. Gosh, this is busy. Lots of writing on there. Okay, so I love this one, Jane.
It's
I'm not
beautiful,
going to lie.
isn't it?
Look at that.
It's gorgeous.
I mean, it's upside down, but you get the idea. Yes, 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 with a nice blender in there. So this is a
Yes.
half meter heaven plus because you're
Yeah,
getting a
it's a bit of
fancy
Macawa-
smancy one.
Macawa spray time there. It's lovely. It
So
just
if-
pulls all those teals and
It really
turquoises out
does,
of the
doesn't it?
fabric.
So if you're after a little bit of a treat yourself, half meter heaven, then treat yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll have a look at all that scribbling and see what's going on there. And then, oh, this is brand new and I heart it,
I
Jane.
love this fabric.
Look at him. Look at him. So here's the thing. I wrote on the label what it was called. Gemma didn't believe me.
Yeah.
So she rang you to find out what it was actually called.
Yeah, she spoke to me and she said, I don't know what this leopard's called. I said, it's Lionel. She said, no, what's it called? I said, his name's Lionel.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. She didn't believe me when I had it. Look, see, Lionel. No, she didn't believe me at all. I think he's rather lovely. And he
He's a
comes
bit gorgeous.
in 2 colourways, Jane. Check him out
I
here.
love that mustardy colour.
And I've put him with silver mink.
Which works beautifully. That makes his spots pop.
Should he be Lionel if he's a... Oh, no, a leopard.
Leopard.
Lionel the leopard.
Yeah.
Think of Lionel as being a lion.
Yes.
Yeah, Leonard the leopard would possibly
Yeah.
have been my name of choice, but nobody asked me.
No.
That's fine. We'll let that one slip, right?
Beautiful.
Now I have got, this is the very, very last of Babushka, that's not Babushka.
Madroiska.
Yeah, that one. With all the little
Yeah.
Russian dolls.
Yeah.
Come on, Jane, I'm doing the actions. I'm doing the actions.
We knew what you mean.
Yeah.
With a nice-
Matryoshka. And then, this is the last of Matryoshka in the white, but with the blue. Doesn't that just pick up all of her
That's
colours?
beautiful, isn't
It's
it?
lovely, isn't it? So again, wouldn't this look lovely in your quilt today? Yes.
Yes, it would.
And then we have got, and again, this is the very, very last of the rainbows. I think that would be stunning.
That would look gorgeous.
Absolutely stunning.
You could see that as a baby playmat,
Anything.
couldn't you, really? With
Anything.
all those colours and nice and bright. Absolutely.
So we split our half metre heavens, half for today, half for tomorrow, as we are doing a
Yes.
half metre heaven based quilt. Now, this is the one that Jane has done. This is Tilda, which feels very appropriate now today.
Yes.
Yes, so that is all live for you. And now the rest are slightly special because they're half metre heaven pluses.
Yes, I'm pretty confident they're not ones we've had before ever.
No, we haven't. We have never had this half metre heaven at all, but is that not very, very beautiful? I'm going to hold this up here. I feel that there is a bit of a leopardy based...
Yeah, there's a bit of a jungle theme going on.
I quite enjoy that. Oh, do you know what else I'm quite enjoying? I'm enjoying the mix of Moda and Liberty. That is also
Yeah.
very much
That
right up my
grunge has
street.
got like a little
Hasn't
bit
it?
of green tinge to it in the Moda grunginess bit.
It's got everything in there
It's
that
beautiful.
we could possibly need, including some frogs with your motor. Whoop.
That's lovely.
Look at that.
Fabulous.
Loving these, Jane. And then if you know, two can play that game.
Ha ha.
Ha 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 ha.
Saw what you did there.
Yeah. Oh, look,
It's
we
a
need
bit
to press
crumply.
that. I know. Whoops. Take care of our fabrics.
You do.
And then, and now you see this. Is this a Moda one?
Yes.
It is, isn't it? It was just a random one that came. I don't think it came in as part of a
No,
collection.
it wasn't part of
but
the collection, but we put it with a bit of the bumbleberries, and I just thought, ooh, that's a bit lovely.
do you remember Wendy Matthias, who used to
Yes.
message in
Yeah.
on Sewing Quarter? She had a thing about red.
Yes.
This would be right up her
Yeah,
street.
she'd
We need
love
to,
it, wouldn't
how
she?
would we let her know?
I don't
We'd
know.
get in touch. Go, oh, Wendy, we've got a nice
Wendy.
fabric for
Yeah,
you.
she might be a friend.
Haven't
on
spoken in a
Facebook.
while, but you know, crack on. And then a little bit of Lisa Chandler with the purple.
Oh, I'm not going to lie, I'm really loving that one.
I'm loving them all this morning.
They're gorgeous.
I really like the frog.
Absolutely. Yes.
So-
Frog's fun.
They are your options for today. I'm going to get out your way, Jane.
Okay.
And
The
let
half metre Heaven Pluses are live, aren't they? And I think Gemma's linked in all the half metres that we might have left
Yes.
in our half metre Heavens.
Yes. Let us
But the
start.
other half metres, they don't go live till tomorrow, do they?
No.
So these pluses are
So
on
tomorrow,
it today.
to be really, really clear, tomorrow what will go live is all of the Tilda fabric, the brand new Tilda fabric, that will all be live, including those, the ombre of chambray,
Ooh,
and
gorgeous.
the charm packs, the buttons, all the fabric cut by the half metre
Yeah,
will all be there
beautiful.
and good to
And
go.
of course, the beauty of this quilt that we're going to do, it's done with 2 half metres, but if you wanted to make it bigger,
Buy more.
by more half metres, you know, mix it up. There's no reason why you can't make the blocks in one set of half metres and then the blocks another set and then mix it all together, particularly if the fabrics go.
Yeah.
You'd
So
have-
when we do fabrics from different collections, and
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah.
you could just really have fun with it, couldn't you?
Well,
I mean, if you put
fun. What?
those two together, look at that. That's a bit gorgeous, just those 2 sets. You could put 3 sets in.
Oh, hang on. Let's have a look at what sets you're putting together. Oh yeah, those would be
I mean,
rather gorgeous.
those fabrics are all within the collection anyway.
Yeah.
These 3 Moda grunges look beautiful together.
Yep.
You know, you've got a large
got an-
quilt there with 3 sets.
Jane, spoiling us.
It's lovely. There's all the combinations, and we quite often, don't we? We'll put a couple of the same collection in with 2 different colour going with it. That's
would be
another
rude
way of
not
doing
to.
it.
Yeah. Jane treated herself to a few bits of cake on Monday. She's trying to resist these half Mr. Heavens. Resistance is futile. Don't
Don't do it.
Silver spotted once again the green leopard.
Yes.
Yeah. And Elizabeth got the wadding before it sold out. Yes.
Is it all gone?
I don't know.
I hope not. I was hoping to have some.
Oh, bit of mustard and mac and cheese.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You stop talking about cheese.
And
please.
Sylv's just had a sausage, egg and bacon sandwich. That's all good.
Lovely. I wanted to show you this book as well,
Oh yeah.
because
Go on
this
then.
is we'll be using a rotary cutter today, and I've got a chart. Obviously, I use a rotary cutter all the time. That's how I do all my cutting, with my rotary cutter. But I know that some people are still a little bit wary of rotary cutters. Some people might not be familiar with them. It's a rotating cutting blade that you push along the fabric against a ruler to cut your fabric with. This book by Sarah Ashford is the basics of a rotary cutter, and it's a really handy little guide to have, particularly if you're a beginner. It's got all sorts of really useful tips and hints. It tells you about your fabric, what you'll need to use with your rotary cutter, your cutting mat, the basics of how to line your fabric up and hold your ruler and use your rotary cutter. It's got a bit about your care of your blades, changing your blade. And then there was something in here and I thought, oh, that's really handy. It's how to use it with templates and your rulers. There's a cutting reference there. Lots of things in there. Really handy book.
And it's spiral bound, so it lays flat.
Yeah, so it lays nice and flat. The pages aren't going, the spine's not going to break on it, and your pages aren't going to fall out. It's just a really, there's a bit about body position there as well, which I think is quite important.
Yeah.
You know, if you're standing correctly over your ruler and your rotary cutter, you're going to get a better cut. Just a really nice thing to have. And if you're new to patchwork and quilting using a rotary cutter, it's a really lovely book. Or if you know someone that's just starting out on their patchworking journey, that's a really nice gift.
Well, I mean, it's a really useful one to have, isn't it? And just down for the safety aspect, rotary cutters used to scare the living whatever's out of me.
Yeah. We've got the Friscars one that's incorporated with the ruler, haven't we? We've got the small one.
That was how I started.
Yeah, and that's really...
Before I found creative grids, that was the only way that I would cut anything.
Yeah, that's a really good, handy ruler to have, because it's, you know, it's all together in one, so you haven't got the danger of your rotary cutter slipping against your ruler, which some people have. You've got all sorts of different types of rotary cutter. We've got several different types here that all do exactly the same job, but they're all ergonomically, and you know, different people will enjoy a different type of rotary cutter. You know, you
yours
can
is
find
just underneath there, your pink one.
Yeah, mine. I love this just because of the colour of it, really. No other reason. But you've got all of the different types. It really is a case of finding the one that works for you.
Yeah.
You know, these are all 45. You can get smaller ones and you can get larger ones. I tend to use, when I'm doing lots of cutting, I tend to use a 60 because of course with a bigger blade, it cuts through things quicker as well. With a new blade, you can cut through at least 6 layers of fabric at a time. But it does need to be a new blade, and change your blade regularly. From a safety point of view, it's important because a dull blade makes you press harder, which then makes you not quite as in control of your cutting as you could be, and that's when you tend to slip, and that's when you'll have accidents, because when your rotary cutter blade is dulled, it's still very sharp.
Yeah.
So yeah, I tend to change mine every other project, depending on how much cutting I've been doing. If I've been doing a large quilt, it's straight after I've finished, and I put a new blade in ready for the next project. Because when you're cutting wadding as well, that'll dull your blade slightly. You might want to have a separate rotary cutter for wadding to your fabric. And I also have a paper cutting rotary cutter as well, which I use the duller blades for my paper because it's still very sharp. So it gets a little bit more life out of your rotary cutting blade. But we've got all the blades, haven't we? For
all the blades and all the world.
We've got endurance ones as well, which last a little bit longer. All of those things going on. So yeah. So today, I've done the pattern slightly different than I do normally, in so much as I put a cutting chart in. Well, I say I've put a cutting chart in. I sent Josh a quite rough photograph of what the cutting chart I'd drawn out, which wasn't quite to scale, but I explained it to him, and Josh, bless him, has converted it into a much easier to scale cutting chart. So shall we go close up on that, and then we can talk about it?
Absolutely.
I've put, like I would do normally, I've put, you know, what you'll need to cut, so you've got it there. But you can see as a visual guide there, that's your 1/2 metre of fabric, and that's how you'd cut your pieces from it. Worked it out so that we could get the most pieces from your fabric. You're going to have these bits here left over. And it would work just with a American 1/2 metre, 1/2 yard piece, 18 inches. You just get it out. So if your fabric wasn't quite cut straight, you might not, but you'll definitely get it from our 1/2 metres, because ours are metric 20-inch 1/2 metres, aren't they?
Yeah, we always give a bit more.
We go to 20 inches, which is a bit more than a half, but that gives you that wiggle room if it's not quite...
well, we do it in case, heaven forbid, it's not quite straight or anything like that. Because sometimes
for the best will in the world,
it's
it's not always rolled onto the bolt straight. So you're fighting a losing battle then straight away. So you'll need to, following the chart, you'll need to cut your fabric out. Now I've done it from selvage to selvage. Obviously you can fold your fabric in half and even into quarters if your mat isn't big enough to get the strips. But once you've cut the width of strips, so you're 7.5, and then there's 3 2.5 and 2 1.5s. Once you've cut those, if you folded your fabric into 4 or into half, depending on your mat, then open them out and cut them. Now what I did do was I put my 2 fabrics together and I put them right sides together and cut them at the same time. You don't have to do that. You could just follow the chart and cut one, but obviously it saves time if you've got them both together and you cut them at the same time. That's an easy way of doing it. And by putting them right sides together, the 2.5-inch squares, which go to make the small block, let me just get some that I've made. These are the smaller blocks. Just move that to one side. Your 2.5-inch squares go together there. So if you've got them right sides together, once you've cut them, you don't have to move them. You just take them straight to your machine then and do your seam, because those two are sewn together. So that's your 2.5-inch squares on there. So once you've got all your pieces cut, I recommend that you have piles of your cut pieces so that you know which ones are which. Stick a label on them and whatever, but keep them in the stacks of the pieces you've cut.
We should just sell like Post-it notes, shouldn't we? Because that's,
we need Natasha makes Post-it notes, definitely.
What a great idea, Josh. Can you get onto that? Make it happen now.
So, and with this, there's quite a lot. You can chain piece quite a lot of it because it's doing all the same thing several times. So it's quite a quick project to make. It's not large and it's quite quick and quite straightforward. Once you've done all that cutting, it won't take you long at all to get them all together. That is my pile of leftover bits from my cutting. So that's how much you have left over, which you can of course use in other projects. Make a little pin cushion to go with your blanket, make a cushion to go with your blanket, whatever.
Nice.
Your quilt, whatever you want to do. So yeah, so the first part of it, once you've cut all your pieces, you're going to make the larger frame square. It's very straightforward, joining the pieces together, but it's working in a methodical way really, to get the same, you get the same effect from your squares.
Push it up onto the, there we go.
There we go.
I don't know if we need to zhuzh those half meters out of the way a bit.
Yeah,
you're right.
Push them forward. There we go. So you'll have cut all of these, so you'll have 3 of your large squares in your plain and 3 in your patterned fabric. Now you'll know because you've looked at the quilt that you actually don't use 6 squares. You'll have 1 left over, and you can decide which. I chose to use the pattern one in the middle, 3 of those and 2 of the plain. You might want to change it round and have 3 of the plain ones in the middle, and vice versa, which is why it's called a vice versa quilt, because there's options for you to play with it and make it your own, as always, because I like to do that with my quilts.
Perfect.
So you'll have all your piles of pieces for your blocks. You'll have cut using the chart, and it really is a case of taking the large square and placing the large rectangle on the top and sewing that to the top. We were using a consistent 1/4 inch seam all the time. Let me just pop the iron on. Is it on? Yes, it is. Yeah. Is it, or is it unplugged? Oops, unplugged. There we go. All plugged in now. So, adding that large rectangle, the pattern piece to the plain, and the plain to the patterned.
Nice. So just
as I
being
say,
consistent.
you can chain piece this quite easily if you've got your piles of fabric like piled up on your cutting mat.
Then away you go.
You know it's so quick to do.
Oh, we've got Ali and Denise and Jean and Pauline and Diane who've just joined us. Oh, morning, Julia.
Good morning.
And Kathleen as well. And Syl said, isn't it rude that people should know that when they can't call you, you know, they're watching.
Yes.
Don't have people trying to call. It's no good.
So once you've sewn those on, you're going to press them up and away from your square. And it's just working in a methodical way, really, so that you've got everything that's consistent. But I don't think, you know, you have to worry too much, because I've deliberately made this pattern so that there's not really any seam matching other than the block seams. So if you decide, you know, that you're going to do your blocks slightly differently, you might want to, you know, mix it up. You might want to put patterns where there's plains and all sorts of things. You might want to add a third colour in.
But otherwise we're just going to follow your instructions as to the layout.
Absolutely.
Okay, I can do this.
So we're now adding the narrow strip that is the same width as the square, the pattern to the plain and the plain to the pattern.
I feel that there is some witchcraft about to happen somewhere. Morning, Janice. I can't quite see it yet.
No.
Because I don't know how you get it. I don't know how you get the little squares in the middle of everything else. I'm confused.
Yeah.
Morning, Barbara.
The small one next.
We got Lo with us this morning. She's very quiet, if so.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's being made to do that thing they call work.
Yes.
Rude.
Rude,
morning,
yes.
Hilary, as well. Oh, lots of lovely people watching this morning. Good morning.
So once you've got those ones on, keep the larger rectangle at the top and then take the larger rectangle for the sides and start with that on the, what is the right hand side as you're looking at it. And you're just going to sew those. It really is the simplest of...
so straight line sewing?
Yeah. And as I say, because you can do it, you've cut all of your fabric in one go if you followed the cutting chart. You'll have stacks of these pieces. You can just chain piece, you know. I think when I did my prep, I cut this strip too long. I still have more than enough fabric left over, and better that it's too long than too short.
Oh, Julia. She said, morning all. Delayed by shopping. I'd promised myself not to buy more fabric until I'd reduced the stash a bit. Yeah, again, resistance is futile. Isn't that what we say, Jane?
This is a great stash busting project.
Yeah,
You
then
know,
had a
it's-
moment, found Liberty pattern and measure pieces. Each will fit on a long quarter. One small person's ombre dress coming up.
Oh,
Oh, do it. We only have, in fact, I know when we came to her this morning, we only had 4 of those ombre, complete ombre, Liberty collections left. That was it. That's all we could make out of everything that we had. It went a bit crazy on Monday for that.
I think it's brilliant, and it's just such a lovely project to do. So straightforward. I'm just going to trim these bits off. If you followed my cutting instructions, and like I obviously haven't, you won't need to do this.
Okay, we won't.
Because your
watch.
strips will be the right size.
Okay, we'll just talk amongst ourselves then,
Just
whilst
ignore
you just have a little trimmity trim.
Just to trim those off. And then you're going to pop the narrow strip on the opposite side. It really is
That easy.
that easy.
Jane, you know the new Tilda fabric?
Yes.
They do a lovely cushion, well, a lovely quilt with the ladies with their hands above their heads with big beach rings around them.
Oh, wow.
Should we do that on Monday?
Yeah, definitely.
Shall we?
I think you should.
Would anybody else like to see some Tilda ladies?
Absolutely. It's such a lovely collection. It's obviously seaside themed, and it's just...
It's called Cotton Beach, isn't it? And there's some beautiful seashells and all sorts in there.
classic Tilda design,
Yeah.
just really elegant. beautiful colours, as always. She works with such a lovely colour palette, doesn't she?
Yeah. Oh yes.
Tangled. So you can pin your longer strips if you don't feel so confident, but really they should fit, and you should just be able to line them up and sew them, and you will have, as I say, you will end up with 3 with the pattern in the middle and 3 with the plain in the middle.
Oh, there's a little bit of love for our rotund tilde ladies.
Proper shaped ladies.
Yes. Yes, yes.
Yeah. So
yeah, Karen says, "Ooh, top shelf ladies on Monday." Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Exactly that.
So the principle for the small squares is exactly the same. As I say, if you follow the cutting chart and you put the 2 fabrics right sides together, you will get your 2.5-inch squares will come out looking like that. So you will have them ready to go to take them to the machine and just sew a consistent 1/4-inch seam down each side. You don't have to do anything, you just lift them up as you've cut them and just sew them. So you're sewing them into pairs basically, so they look like that. You will then need to take 2 of them, and making sure that the pattern, the 2.5-inch pattern square is at the top. You will then place the pattern of the smaller rectangle on the bottom and sew those. I'll just move those out of the way onto the machine, ready to go.
Now I have a question for one of our lovely viewers, because this is the second time that I've seen her name and I haven't known how to say it. You know how the designer of Tilda is Tuna Fananga,
Yes.
spelt tone?
Yes.
Well, we've got a lovely lady that's joined us a few times now, and her name is spelled Tone, Boolean. But I don't know if that's Tony or if it's tuna.
Yes.
So I don't know. So I'm just going to ask you, because then I can say good morning to you and not sound really ignorant. Vicky's joined us as well, and she said, "Oh, the Tilda lady is reminiscent of Titania." Well, from Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh right, yes.
Well, I don't know. The quilted, they're the ones at the top, if you can see. Vicky, do take a look. And they are rather lovely, but it's all beachy based fabrics.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're obviously sort of beach bells, and they look like they're sort of up to their chests in the sea.
Bobbing about.
Yeah, just, waded in up to their chests and enjoying it.
Yeah.
So the other side of so you've got we had them that way, and we put the pattern underneath, and we're going to turn them around now so that the plain fabric's at the top, and then we'll put the narrow strip at the bottom. Let's move that up slightly so we can see it properly. So you will do 8 this way, and you will do 8 that way. So that first part of just joining all the 2.5-inch squares together forms, the basis, and you don't have to worry. You've got them. It doesn't matter. You sew them all the same way, and then you just rotate your pairs to accommodate the narrower rectangle.
This is all very good.
It's such a lovely project, so simple but effective. And I think by doing the narrower and the wider strips, you get a sort of movement to the blocks as well.
Yeah, it's sort
which
of...
which makes your eye sort of dance around looking at it. Because I think if we did them, you could just do them framed with the same size all the way around, which would be straightforward.
Yeah.
But it could be a bit sort of linear and not so exciting.
No, I like that they... And also...
It just gives it a bit of movement and something else, and as I say, because I've done it the way I have, there is no actual seam matching other than the blocks joining them together.
So a great beginner's quilt. And
yeah,
also,
absolutely.
If it does go a little bit wobbly, it
Yes.
just looks like it's part of the charm.
It looks like it's meant to be.
Oh, Vicky said, no, I was being far less highbrow. That was a Gemma-specific question. She has a garden figure named that way.
Oh.
Now I've seen the fabric, not quite as much. I did wonder how you'd got like Shakespearean Queen of the Fairies out of that. I was like, See, the trouble is, the three of us, Vicky, Gemma and I, all went to school at Stratford-upon-Avon Grammar School for Girls.
Yes.
So I instantly go for a bit of Shakespeare with the three of us.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, that's the name you think of straight away, isn't it, when you hear that?
Yeah, well, yeah, when you've got Titania.
So you've got your longer rectangles now, and you take, again, you'll do the same as we did with the previous one, and we're going to put the narrow strip on the right-hand side, and we'll do that with all of them.
Lovely.
And the blocks are made exactly the same way, so there's no worry about making sure you've got the one the right way and the other way. It's just a case of we will rotate them eventually to create what we need to do. And again, I don't think you need to worry too much if you get the wrong one on the wrong side. I think, you know, it will add to the movement of the pattern.
No, I'm really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. And I can really see how you could mix in a few of the half-metre heavens together, and that'd be absolutely glorious.
Make a bigger
do
quilt.
have a rummage through, because there are those that are still existing. Well, not that many left actually, but there are a few.
No, there's a few.
Or maybe you've had a half-metre heaven and you'd like to see if there are any more left of that.
Yeah, you might be able to get some more of the same, mightn't you? Because we've got some of them left. I mean, the thing with our half-metre heavens is quite often we're using up the last remains, aren't we, of a bolt? So once it's gone, it's gone. But we occasionally have some extra ones. So we've got the narrow strip on now. We're going to press that away. I'm always pressing it away from the block. I don't think it matters if you want to press it the other way, but I think it's easier to press away from the square. There's less seams for it to go against, so it likes to lie flatter that way. As I say, we've got no seams to match up, so it doesn't matter if it, you know, we don't have to worry about nesting seams and stuff like that. So at this stage, I'm just going to give that one a trim because it's just gone a little bit wobbly. I think you have to be careful when I best pressed the fabric quite heavily before I started cutting, just so that it didn't move too much while I was preparing it. So now you're going to add that large rectangle on the opposite side. Your patterns with your plain and your plain with your pattern. Just keep going along. And again, such an easy project to chain piece and make quickly. I think you could probably make this in a weekend.
Yeah.
You know, I think, even for somebody making their first quilted project, this would be a nice one to start with. Really simple, really straightforward.
Does sound good, that machine, doesn't it?
It's beautiful,
yeah.
isn't it? It's got a real hum to it.
I was just listening to it and I was not saying anything, but it's just nice to listen, isn't it?
Yeah. All the features that are on it are just make life so much easier, like the foot lift when you stop, and the thread cutter. Oh, I love the thread cutter. You can't imagine life now, can you, without a thread cutter?
I know.
I was using one of my old machines at home the other day and it hadn't got the thread cutter on, and I kept like looking for the button to press, and it was just like, whoa.
Yeah, actually having to cut your own thread.
Yeah. Get spoiled, don't we? This is a thing. So you'll
There's
then
nothing wrong in that.
absolutely
in that.
not. So you're going to have all of your blocks, and they're all going to look pretty similar, like so, all facing the same way. So what I did was I took one of the patterned ones, left that the way that it was, and then I rotated the narrow strip, so that the narrow strip was, let me just check this and be sure that I'm doing it the right way around. It doesn't matter, it's not the end of the world, but as I say, you just want to be sure. So I'd got the large rectangle at the top with the square at the right hand side, and then I put the narrow strip of the plain against that wider strip like that. And I join those together in pairs, all the same way. I'm just going to check the measurement on this one because I seem to have quite an overhang on that.
Uh-oh. Nobody likes an overhang.
No. And they should end up about 5.5, the squares. So you might need to just trim a little bit off just to make it, just so that it goes straight. And that way you'll get everything consistent.
Oh, Gemma's just sent me a picture of Titania in her garden.
Oh,
It was a garden ornament they picked up in a charity last year.
right. All makes sense now.
Yeah. Yeah, she said, Guy and I think she's fabulous, but we appear to be in the minority.
Oh,
But it doesn't matter,
Matters,
Gemma, it's
doesn't
your
it? I
home.
was
If
gonna
you
say,
think
it's
that
your
it's
house,
fabulous,
if you
that's
love her,
it.
then that's all that matters. Wouldn't do for us all to love the same thing. It'd be a boring world if we did. So I'm going to press my seams under the long narrow strip, just because, again, as I said, it's the path of least resistance. There's no seams for it to fight against, and they're all pressed the same way. And you see, by turning that block, my squares now are not in the same place. It gives that movement.
Got it? Yeah.
If you could put them together and the squares would be in a row, and that would be fine. It's your quilt, you can do what you like. So you're going to end up with all these blocks that look the same in pairs, and then you rotate the second pair to make your 4 patch. And again, that just gives that movement with the squares. And because we've pressed the seam the same way, when we come to join these together, we're going to have that seam locking there, which will help your seams match up. And that's really the only seam matching you're doing, is when it comes to joining the blocks together.
Yeah, I like this a lot. It's clever. It's just a little tweak.
Yeah, just a little bit, just to add some movement to it, so it's not so rigid, and I think it just creates a really nice visual project. You know, it makes it move around. So you'll have all of your blocks then, all your small blocks you'll have made, and you will make 4, can't count, 4 of these. I've only actually made 3.
Oh, Margaret would like to see a twiddle in the middle.
You can do a twiddle in the middle, Margaret. You certainly can.
It wouldn't be a Wednesday without a twiddle in the middle.
You can unpick that bit there and twist it round if you want to.
Alison says that she thinks this will be a really fast, fun make.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely, absolutely true. So we then take the fabric with the pattern in the middle. We place one of our 4 patch blocks against there, and then we take another one of our pattern blocks, a plain block rather this time. Let me just reel her out of the way. So this will create row 1 and 2. But what I did was, because I've got this constant movement of the blocks, I just twisted this one here so that the square twisted round, just to carry on that movement of the squares, just rotate the block. You can rotate it as many times as you wanted to. You could put it there if you wanted to. It's completely up to you. But, you know, once you've made all your blocks, lay them out, have a look at them. You might want to twist them around. Might want to have them in different directions. So it's just a case of joining them together in rows. So literally lining them up and sewing them together. As I said, there's no seam matching at this point. The only point when you will match seams is when you've got the rows together in the blocks, and you'll just match up the blocks when you're sewing them.
Perfect. That's all coming together a treat.
It really is a lovely, straightforward project.
So this could be, you can make this much bigger if you get more than one set of half-metre heavens.
You just make another set, you know, if you bought a metre of fabric or 2 sets of half metres, you just follow the chart the same.
The other thing is, it's a lovely gift, and that doesn't, if you've got a half-metre heaven for $9.99, you'd pay that for a gift, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, easily. Or if you're making to sell, then, you know, because it's a fast, fun thing, then you could,
you don't feel like you've invested, you know, lots of energy into it for somebody then to say, oh, thanks, and chuck it in the back of the cupboard or whatever.
If you are making to sell, you know, if you sold that out for £25, which would be very cheap, I think.
Yes.
You know, you've made £15, and it would take you how long to make it?
You've made in a day. You could, if you really put your foot to the pedal, you could do this in a day. Do you know what I mean? It would be a long day.
Yeah.
But you could. Definitely over a weekend.
Yeah. Well, they need to charge a bit more than that then.
Yes.
Yes.
But
I was thinking of Karen speed.
Yes.
You'd have 3 made in a
Karen make it in an afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, if you've got a nice sharp rotary cutter blade in your rotary cutter, you could cut out 2 lots of half-metre heavens in one go. So you could layer them up. You could put one pair under another, and that's 4 layers of fabric, and you could cut that in one go, no problem.
Oh, fabulous.
With a nice sharp blade in your cutter.
Or if you go for the Fiskars one with the power mode, the one that I like, the one that looks slightly weird, that one cuts through loads. I've done at least 9 layers of fabric, easy, no problem.
Yeah. And if you use the stabiliser on your fabric, that's going to help keep the fabrics together. So there's going to be minimum,
or your flatter spray,
minimum movement of the fabric as you cut in those layers.
Margaret wants to know if she's missed a question about the pattern for this. There is a pattern for this. There's a digital pattern for this, and
I've got the pattern here, but for some reason my printer would only print it in black and white. I was having a bit of a nightmare this morning. I was like, I don't know how it's not printing in colour. So yeah, you'll get your pattern. As I say, it's got,
and yours will be in colour.
Yours will be in colour beautifully. You've got your cutting chart there, and then all the step-by-steps, as we always do, making it, you know, beginner-proof, really. I hope that everybody can follow it quite easily. She was too busy chopping veg for a lunchtime soup. Oh, which sounds delicious. Oh, soup with the cheese biscuits that the other ladies made. Come on, we've got a veritable feast going. I'd forgotten about those cheese biscuits, Jane. What have you done? What have you done? Elizabeth just wants to know what time we're all going around Margaret's. Yeah, we'll be there. Yeah. So the middle row. I'm going to do the middle row now. So you've got your 4 patch blocks, and you'll need 1 of your squares. And again, it's a case of rotating them. I rotated it because I wanted to have pattern against plain, but you could leave it with plain against plain and pattern against pattern. You know, I was just moving it round so that, again, it gave some movement. And then I turned that middle block around as well. But I probably wouldn't on this, because I'd probably want to keep the birds going in the same direction, because it's such a big pattern and it's a directional one. I probably would leave that. But that's, again, it's fine. It's not, it looks okay. It still gives that movement of pattern there. And then it's a case of joining those blocks together. Your top row, you're going to make exactly the same, because when you join the rows together, you'll sew row 2 to row 1, and then you take row 3, which was the same as this, but you'll rotate it round so that your plain is on the left hand side, and that continues the pattern through then.
Oh, nice, got it. Yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
again, you've got this. I got it going so that it was plain against pattern and pattern against plain. So again, it just added that movement. But what I would say to you is just once you've made your blocks, lay them out and have a play with them and twist them around and see how you like them. Make it your own.
Yeah.
So I didn't, when I came to quilting it, I didn't layer it and bind it.
Right.
Because if you want to bind it, you'll need additional fabric. So I used the bagging method.
Nice.
Which is just lay your wadding out, put the backing fabric right sides facing upwards, and then put the quilt top right sides facing down onto the backing, and then sew all the way around the sides, leaving a gap obviously to put your hand through and pull it through. I leave about a 5-inch gap, and then trim the corners off, and I trim the wadding away from in the seam allowance, so I trim it as close to the stitching without obviously cutting through the stitching. Pull it through, that reduces the bulk in the seam then. Pull it through, sew up the gap, make sure your corners are poked out nice and tight, and then I sew quite close, about 1/4 inch, but a scant 1/4 inch all the way around then. And that is it done really, and you can quilt. You could just quilt through the seam allowance on the blocks if you wanted to. I've gone with a curve here. I just used a coffee pot lid actually to do that first curve
Oh,
there.
is that where it went to? Yeah.
And then use the guide on my, your walking foot has a guide that you sit and I used that and measured it 1 inch.
Yeah.
It's a bit wobbly in places, but
but
adds to the wobbly effect,
Hey.
And I did it in different directions so that, and these squares I only quilted in the big square, but on these ones I quilted through the whole block. So again, that adds a little bit of texture to it and a bit of movement. Yeah,
I'm enjoying that hugely.
You could do a spiral, you could follow it round square in there.
Oh, yeah.
That would give you a lovely effect.
Wouldn't it just?
It's a nice project. It's big enough under your machine to have a practice with your free motion.
Oh, nice.
It's not over phasing. You could just do a nice little wiggly squiggly across the whole thing. So yeah, it's a lovely beginner's project, I think. Really nice and really straightforward to do.
Perfect. Well, thank you very, very much indeed.
You're very welcome.
And yes. We will look at that. I love the toucans. I love it with that green as well.
It's
and
gorgeous,
I also
isn't it?
love the fact that with the Moda grunges, it's got even more interest and detail in there.
Yes, it adds a bit more texture to it, doesn't it?
Perfect. Perfect.
Beautiful.
Fabulous. Thanks, Jane.
You're welcome.
So, to recap for anybody that wasn't here on the dot of 10 o'clock.
We've got lots of goodies.
We do have lots of goodies. So, first thing to say is wadding. 243 centimetre wide wadding per half metre. Special brand new price today. Only for today, only $4.99 per half metre. And that is 243 centimetres wide.
That's amazing. Get as much of it as you can. Get a great big piece of it.
Yeah. Then the other thing to look at, if Jane, you can just point to them, are your fox, your raccoon and your owl quilts.
Raccoon and owl.
You want to look at your Friday newsletters for those. I have literally a handful of
These
it
are
well.
beautiful kits. And typical Moda, you've got everything in there. You'll need your backing and your wadding. And it's a nice size quilt. It's
Well,
a
you can
38.
get your wadding, can't you? You can get your wadding today.
38 by 44.
Perfect.
So brilliant. And it's 38 across. So, 1.5 metres of wadding.
Job done.
Sorted. And you'll have some left over.
So some left over from 244
Yeah,
centimetres.
absolutely.
Yes, you will. And then we have got all of the brand new Tilda that landed literally this morning. That will be live for you to get and rummage through on the website. That will be live tomorrow, including the ombre of chambres.
If there's any left.
If there's any left, yeah, which I have to say.
These are stunning. Should we go close up on
Yeah, Jane, these are not cheap. I have to tell you that straight off before anybody gets upset. They are not cheap because they are super top quality chambres. You can use them for your doll making. They're a really nice tight woven
There's 15
chambray.
fat quarters
There are
there.
15 fat quarters
That will
there.
make you a huge quilt.
Or it will make you several
Yes.
of the quilts that we had.
Yeah, your ombre Liberty one.
Ombre Liberty quilt that we did on
Applique,
Monday.
yeah,
would
absolutely
be
beautiful.
Absolutely stunning with that as well.
They're gorgeous colours. You just need that in your life to be on your shelf, just to look at and make you feel happy.
Exactly, would be rude not to, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So they will be available tomorrow. And also, if you are a Tilda fan, of course, they are the ombres that go with all of the Tilda fabrics.
But of course they go beautifully with the new collection.
Of course, of course.
Yes.
We've also got the charm pack. We've also got the buttons.
Charm pack, beautiful. That will make your lovely window.
Through the window quilt.
Through the window quilt.
Absolutely.
And then beautiful buttons that match and
That are
tone
just
beautifully.
Flashing their plastic in the light.
Just need to.
There we go. And again, they go with the collection. They are
Absolutely.
collection specific.
But again, you know, they just look nice on your shelf.
Yeah, of course they do.
You have to use them.
No, gosh, no. I have a whole box of Tilda buttons from each collection though. Just every time there's one for me.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Just make you feel happy.
So we've discussed wadding, we've discussed the quilt kits, we've discussed the fact that Tilda goes live tomorrow. We will do a project with the Tilda on Monday. I think there was a call for some Tilda ladies, some rotund Tilda ladies.
Absolutely.
Do you remember there was, at one point, there was a really famous artist whose name escapes me, who did like the beach ladies who were...
Beryl Cook.
Yes!
I love Beryl Cook, yes.
That's what I'm
shaped
envisaging.
ladies.
The proper ones.
Yes.
Proper shaped ladies.
I loved her artwork, yes.
Sylv wants to see the top shelf ladies. Could you just grab a top
Yes, we
shelf
can
lady for
grab
Sylv,
a
please?
top shelf lady.
Lisa's loving the new Tilda.
Look at these.
Crikey, look at all of those.
Aren't they stunning?
Shall we go close up on our top shelf ladies? Karen, could you imagine a dress out of some ladies?
I think, yeah. Aren't they lovely?
Oh, hello, Lowe's joined us. Right shelf, ladies, fabric, show me. Shouty capitals. There you go, Lo.
There we are, Lo.
Calm down, there you go.
Aren't they lovely?
Yeah, as they will now lovingly be known as the top shelf ladies.
Look at the salvage on that.
Ah, well, of course, in February, that's only right and proper.
I love a salvage.
Did I say £4.99.5 metre? I meant £5.99.
I did wonder, but I was like, I'm not going to say because I might have misheard you in the first place. But I
No,
thought
I
you said
completely said the wrong
£5.99.
one.
Even
Sorry,
crazier.
$5.99.
I mean, £5.99's crazy enough. We've got it in the beautiful.
Lo, this goes
blue as
live
well.
tomorrow. It literally landed this morning. So Gemma is loading it as we speak. Oh, it's lovely in this colour as well. Sorry, guys.
This is beautiful. It's that lovely, what I consider the Tilda
hi, Ellie.
sagey blue colour.
Can we?
We'll look closer.
Yeah.
Look at those.
Be great just as a cushion, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Lo wants it now. She's taken her shouty capitals off. I thought that was just for dramatic effect, Lo, if I'm honest.
I need it now.
All of it. Immediately,
Absolutely.
if not sooner. Yeah, and we have had clarification, £5.99 per half metre for the new 80/20 wadding. Today it's normally £7.25 per half metre. Just so that you know. That's why we've got a great introductory price on it.
Beautiful.
Oh, are you...
That's a bargain.
There they are. You're just stroking the ladies.
Just
that sounds
stroking
wrong.
them. That sounds wrong, doesn't it?
Stroking the top
fabric,
shelf
Natasha.
ladies. Oh, right. Well,
They're
all going
beautiful.
on here.
They are beautiful.
HR. Perfect.
Get away with it while Gem's not here.
She's watching.
She's watching us.
Yeah, Karen likes it on the green background. Could you
Yes.
make a dress out of these?
I think she could. I think
Yeah.
trip to Morrison's coming up with the beach ladies on.
Beach ladies, yeah. Sylv loves their rosy cheeks.
Yes, I do. I do.
Lo says, save me somewhere, I won't speak to you again. Some would say that's a bonus. No, we wouldn't say that. We would not say that.
No.
You've just got to grab it tomorrow. It's on the website tomorrow. There they are. No,
Beautiful. There's the blue.
They're fun, aren't they?
They're just gorgeous fabrics.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And, you know, the quality of the fabric, the base cloth is just, well
I mean, let's talk about that just
divine.
for a moment, just before we go. Most fabric has a shrinkage rate of between 5 and 7%.
yeah, you'd
cotton
expect
fabrics.
that most with cottons, yeah.
3 to 4 on these.
Because
and
it's
all Okeatex, so it's all nice dyes,
Yeah.
nothing nasty in there at all.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Lo says, I've made so many ladies and have beach ones in my bathroom. Well, there we go. Oh, and Gemma is watching. Yeah. Oops.
Yeah.
Oops. There we go. Jane, thank you very much for all of your fabulousness today.
You're welcome.
Yes, Alison, the ladies will be available by the half metre tomorrow once Gemma gets them loaded. If they can go up any sooner, we'll get them up sooner, but they will definitely be up by tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it takes quite a while to get the
There is a
images,
huge
and there's a lot of
collection
work
here.
going on.
Yeah.
There's a huge collection, but to get them up by tomorrow is an amazing thing for Gems.
And we will we'll add a link into the newsletter that goes out tomorrow for anybody that has forgotten the ladies.
Beautiful.
Can't forget the ladies.
You can't forget the ladies.
Not the ladies. Alrighty, lovely ladies. Thank you very much, Shane.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
What are you doing next week?
I'm going to do something lovely with the Sanderson fabric.
Oh, I've seen your design for that, and that is the reason I bought that fabric.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Well, we loved it, didn't we? We were just like, can we have that?
Needs to be in my life. Alrighty, you lovely lots. Oh, Elizabeth says thank you all. Lovely show, lovely quilt. I am on. Oh, Alison says yes, great show today. I'm on the craft store tomorrow for 4 hours.
Oh my gosh.
You lucky things.
4 hours? Goodness me.
Yeah. I'd love
What
to tell you
times
what
are you on?
hours.
You don't know.
I'm going to
Are you
say
doing the block of the month? Is that at 10?
probably 7 o'clock with Creative Grids. Probably 10 o'clock with the Natasha Make show. Probably 1 o'clock with a block of the month show, and 5 o'clock with more Creative Grids. I would imagine that's how my day is going to pan out tomorrow. Yeah.
That'll keep you out of mischief.
Well, will it though?
No.
No.
Not at all.
It just won't be mischief here,
That's
Jane.
right, yeah.
That's all.
No.
It'll just be remote mischief. Yes, yes. All right. Have a lovely day. Maureen, have a lovely evening, and we will see you next week. Alrighty. Take care. Bye-bye.